Right, that's it. We're live. This is the first live stream that I've done for like the last 3 weeks. I've been away for a little bit, but tonight we've got Iceman, we've got Stephen from Geordie Talks, we've got fan feuds as well, Sean. So how you going, guys?
Good.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah, tonight's show, like as it says in the description, it's top three goals. It can be Newcastle United, it can be England goals, it can be whatever. But I'm just going to start off talking about Newcastle United because I've been away from it for like the last 3 weeks, so I've missed a lot.
You haven't missed much at all. Been absolute crap. Yeah, shite. You name it, it's been it.
Yeah, this is what I've seen the scores. Obviously, I missed the FA Cup game, and I watched last night. But just everything that's going on behind the scenes, like I'm just on Twitter and everywhere else, I'm seeing so much. So I'm going to start off with Dom because you're there next to me on the screen. But Dom, fill me in, mate. What's been going on in the last 3 weeks at Newcastle United?
Well, we've had some movement on the takeover talk. We've got Qatar and Saudi making friends and shaking hands, and also talk of the beIN Sports being allowed back in Saudi Arabia. But it seems to be a two-side thing as well, because KSA Sport has also been allowed back onto beIN Sports boxes. So that's good news, I think, as well. Going on the takeover talk. If you want news, then it's Sheffield United. The only news is it was according to Steve Bruce, it was absolutely shite. So you can't say it was absolutely shite. And yeah, I watched it, mate, and it was just a capitulation. He played 5 at the back, not good against the team that had not, even strung 2 passes together, let alone a win all season. And they just lost it. They just went too defensive, give them the ball, they grew in confidence, and the sucker punch was the goal. So it's just not good enough. And then the FA
It was always going to happen, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was always going to happen. We all saw it coming, unfortunately. But with the FA Cup with Arsenal, it was a bit better of a turnout. There was a bit more of an attacking intent, but still the same. We got the 0-0 in the end. Andy Carroll could have won it at the death, but it is what it is. And then we lost it 2-0 in extra time. But it is, like I said, it is what it is. We are Newcastle United, and we're always going to be disappointed, and especially with booking Bruce in charge.
You're not a fan of Steve Bruce?
So we are all on, are we?
So is that 9 games that we've not won in that or something? Is it? Is it 9?
Yeah.
Is that correct? That's
9
disgusting.
games.
And only scored 1 goal in the process.
Well, just what is going on, Stephen? Tell me what is going on, mate. Like, why is Steve Bruce still in a job?
I don't know. It's you'd think if Mike Ashley wants to really sell this club, you'd think, right, I'm going to have to make a change because they aren't going to be very profitable in the championship, are they? If you go down, you aren't going to PIF aren't going to want them in the championship. So he should have gone a while ago. It just beggars belief how he's still in the job. He keeps saying, dust ourselves down, hope this, hope that. Well, why hope? It just laughable with him. He just not have a clue what he is doing.
Did he have a breakdown during the week as well and say, like, he's not up to the job or something? I caught a little bit, but what did he say? Was that a real statement from him? It wasn't real, was it? That was somebody made and just put online, surely.
Probably somebody made it up and blown it all out of proportion. But
so it wasn't a real statement.
If you look at also, you mentioned that, Ted, if we go down, PAF will walk away. My understanding from my sources, from people who speak to Staveley, is the fact that if they go down, they'll still be interested in Newcastle. But Mike Ashley's not going to get his 320 million. So, they'll still be interested, but he's not going to get the top dollar, and that's what he wants. If we don't stay in the Premier League, he loses money.
That's it. But does it still hold the same value anyway in the current global crisis? Obviously, PIF, they're willing to pay that money, but if it wasn't, is anybody else going to pay that money?
But also the thing was that they've already agreed to pay more than what they'd already set out. So they obviously are interested and full on interested in buying the club.
Yeah, I believe they're still there. What's your take on it, Sean? What do you think? Oh, hello, Sean. We've got you not got your mic on.
I was on mute, mate. Do you mean Newcastle the takeover?
Yeah. What did I say? The England takeover.
No, I was just wondering what. No, it doesn't matter. Like on the takeover, I think there's a lot of positivity because obviously what John was saying, Qatar and Saudi are coming together now and starting to almost like build bridges. But is that the kind of building bridges that where like Russia and America build bridges where they still hate in the public eye they've made up, but Russia still take their own food and water if they go to like America because there's still that like tension. They still don't like each other really, but in the global image, they want to portray that the sound. Because obviously, realistically, there's a lot of rumors going around that Qatar was the one that basically put the block on the Saudi takeover. So what's stopping that going through now, based on those relationships being mended? Do you know what I mean?
But the question that I'll ask you there, though, Sean, is obviously the relationship between Qatar and Saudi is a big thing with the takeover. It's a huge thing, in fact. Yeah. But it's not what the Premier League were arguing against. Originally, it was about who was actually going to have ownership, whether it's the state or whether it is actually, the PIF.
That
doesn't really solve anything in that situation.
Well, there was a hand-delivered letter from
the highest assurances from the Saudi Royal Court that it was a separate entity, and the Premier League didn't believe it. Well, how high can you go in the Saudi government to prove that you're a sole entity? To prove that the Premier League that you're a sole entity, you cannot. With the highest assurances, that a letter even sent to them to say you're a separate entity from everybody else, and you wouldn't have it.
I suppose with these building bridges. Sorry, go on, Tom.
Yeah, like you just said there was a letter hand-delivered from Al Rumayyan. I mean, he flew over literally just to hand-deliver this letter to say, here we go. That's exactly what you're asking for. The separation between PIF and the government themselves. And the Premier League just went, we don't believe it. And how much more do you need? This is coming from hand delivered and saying, there you go, that is exactly what you've asked for. And then they've gone, no.
Yeah.
Well, that was probably just a smokescreen, though, wasn't it, from the Premier League? They're probably using that because they think that is something that they can officially use and get away with. But really, it came down to piracy. Yeah, it was all down to the piracy. But they couldn't go ahead and say that because situations were being solved at that time with the piracy. And to be honest, if you think about piracy as well, it's not just the Saudis, is it? The piracy. Most of the streams that I was watching for years were coming from Ireland. They were coming from Ireland on these boxes. So they're all over the place. I think what it actually boils down to for me is the other Premier League teams, the top six, and the plans that they had going for. That's what I think it was mostly to do with. The other Premier League teams, the top six, I think they've turned around and they've said no, not having it, not interested.
And you want another team breaking into the top six to disrupt that, because it's always the same teams every season in the top six. And if Newcastle were up there, they would have put a cat amongst the pigeons up there to try and break into the top four, to try and challenge for titles, Champions Leagues, League Cups. Whereas it's been dominated by, like you said, the big six.
But even
And
then,
the Premier League didn't want that. The other Premier League clubs didn't want that.
What's that, Sean?
even then though, it's not just the top six, though, is it? It'll be every team in the Premier League, because even the bottom 10, they're one stage closer to the drop zone then, because Newcastle are like that barrier on they're like the gatekeeper for the relegation zone in the minute. And if they come away from that and start hitting the top end of the Premier League, everyone else drops one place.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But really, it should boil down to every club has their own fair say within the competition.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Every club. There shouldn't be any top six or bottom six. In terms of making decisions for other clubs anyway, for the top six clubs to be able to make a decision on takeovers from clubs below them. I mean, we've seen other takeovers go through recently. They've not had a problem.
Well, if you look at the fact, you say the top six, so you can reel off Man U, Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal. You reel them off. One of the ones that was very vocal about our takeover was West Ham.
West Ham, yeah.
Now, last season, when all this was rumbling on, they were looking precarious down the bottom of the table.
That's it. But I think at that point they were saying that they weren't going top six by league positions. They were going like history wise. But even in that case, they got it wrong because Medical was not scanning people like that.
Well, weren't they wanted the season voiding because they were like Dom said in a very bad way, and that Karen Brady said, "Well, come out and said, well, I think it's best we cancel the season because the West Ham were right in the shite."
Or was that Hammers? Do you know what? I was wondering, and then I got it for. I thought you was doing something else. Like,
I thought he was doing something else. I was like, what's going on?
I was just about to put this comment back up on the screen from. I don't know if you saw that. You got to tell them. That was from earlier. I'm just going to leave that there as a reminder on the screen. All right, so take over like to one side because we've had enough of that anyway, and we recently. Yeah. We'll wait to see what happens, but moving forward, like next game, like what think's going to happen? Are we going to see St. Maxi return? Is he going to come back?
I think he's in full training now. I hope he is fit. I think we've really missed him because we've had no pace going forward. I mean, I'm to rely on Almiron really is our outball for a threat going forward. But since with Maxi on his way back, I know he probably won't be match fit yet, but I think he's get him on the bench and bring him on with that in half an hour, 20 minutes to go in the game, and really let Ripper get Aston Villa defence and see what he does if he's fit enough to make the bench at it.
So while it's been hard, hasn't it? And if it is that long COVID, like they're saying, that's gonna have a huge impact. People that you speak to online and that have had it or know people that have had it say this long COVID thing, it don't just go on for like a couple of months, like 6 months. You're still feeling it with your lungs and stuff. So yeah, I think this could be the end of him for a while. To be honest, I don't think we're going to see a St. Maximin return how he was, if at all, this season.
No, don't say that.
It's definitely going to be after the window shuts, don't you? Because you're going to be frightening people off and going, "Oh, he's got COVID, he's got long COVID, he's not quite back to fitness."
That's what it is. It's a plan.
No one's going to buy him, are they? So that possibly is the whole plan of it all. But I can see him coming back maybe the second week of February.
I'm okay. Yeah, I hope he does return because we need something down that side. We need something. We're just missing. In fact, you know what? We're missing so much. Right now, like I'd even bang Fraser up front. Like it's that bad up there. I'd stick him up there. There's just nothing coming in from anywhere. There's nothing. But even when Maxi returns, are they just going to think, "Oh, right, Maxi's back, so we're just going to go back to playing that long ball again"? Just slam it straight upfield, straight to St. Maximum, let him do the rest, which is what they've done.
I mean, with the players we've got, I mean, he's hardly played that when they were all fit. I mean, with Wilson, Fraser, Mickey, St. Max. I think you only played that once. With all them attacking sort of players, you put them in the right positions. Hell, you're going to cause some bloody problems, aren't he? I think he's only ever done that once.
No, I don't think we've done it once. I don't think we've had one single game where everybody's in position, or where everybody's in their favoured position.
West Ham, maybe.
West Ham back. Was that
West
first game of the
season? Yeah.
Bloody hell, yeah. Do you remember how much hope we had after that game? It's like, wow, we're gonna be top 6 this season. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. This is why it's take this out of us, because the way we went on at the start of the season, where we made these signings, it's like, oh, we're gonna absolutely kill it now. But yeah, they're just laughing at us, man, and that's why we've ended in this situation now.
But that's the problem as well, as everyone has goals at like individual players, and I've had a few fair pops at Joe Linton anyway, but I genuinely think even Joe Linton, like I don't think people can really have a pop, and I think it's a system he's using. We've seen it with other players when they've like played elsewhere, like Miggy for Paraguay, like he smashed it. Lewis was awesome before he came here because he's attacking left back, and he doesn't get the freedom to do that. Wilson the past couple of games hasn't seen enough of the ball to be able to like make an impact. I blame Bruce Me. I've even started a campaign of ban the cabbage, boycott the cabbage, and bring back in here.
I saw something yesterday on Twitter. I looked through briefly. To be honest, I've seen a couple of things that made me laugh over the last couple of days. One of them was the cabbages. But the other thing was, and it's going back to, you just mentioned Joe Linton a minute ago. I don't know if anybody saw the tweet today. Somebody says, what we need to do with Joe Linton is sell him for 40 million. And it's like, hold on. Who's buying Joe Linton for 40 million? Like,
Did
you see that tweet? Honestly, I was going to reply. Yeah. And then I thought I'm going to leave it, because there was like 20 replies below it all saying the same thing. It wasn't worth 40 mil when he came. He's certainly not worth it now.
He's not worth 40.
It's not. It's not. I think you get a couple mil even for him at the most, and that's it. And I'm fed up with just waiting to see how we do with Joe Linton as well. We've given him enough time now. He's not. I think people gave him a bit of a chance this season again. He showed a few touches of promise, and it just inevitably turned to nothing again. Andy Carroll started the season. Remember, he made a statement saying, "This is going to be my greatest season for Newcastle United yet." What's going on, Andy? What's going on, mate? I know you're probably not watching this podcast, Andy, or anybody that knows you is, but someone just tweet this guy and just tell him, what's going on this season? What's happened? All this promise that we've had, it's all turned to shit. The only player that's really surprised us is...
what I will say that on Andy Carroll, he does actually look fit, and he does actually look up for it as well. I mean, you go back to his days playing for Newcastle last time. He didn't even look fit then, but he does actually look a fit fella now.
I think he lost the passion, though, didn't he? I think when he was with us before, he was playing with passion. He was playing with pride every single game. And then he went to Liverpool, and that was it. That passion, he came back, and he wasn't the same player. He didn't have that passion. He didn't care anymore. Plus, he's got money now as well. He's got money. I think money is a big thing for Andy Carroll.
He's in football.
He says he's in debt. You don't like football?
No.
He's in the wrong job then.
Fuck's sake.
He doesn't watch it. He doesn't, think about it when he's at home or anything like that. He says, I just play it.
It's like an Ranger all over again, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a fair point that Ted's just raised, though. There's a boxer that said that. He was like, it's easy to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go on a few mile run when you're living in a shithole. But when you've got silk jumpers and silk sheets, it makes it that much harder.
Yeah, it's fact.
Because once you've got what you've worked to get, you're not bothered, are you? It's hard to keep that passion and fire.
That's why it's psychopaths that make it to the top, because they just keep going no matter what. It's true. I think you find most CEOs of all these industries and companies, I think most of them, if you was to do kind of readings into their mind and stuff, you'll find that they're actual psychopaths. They're just built differently to the rest of us.
You just say the FBI's logged on to the comments there.
Yeah, they're on it. They're on it. All right, so let's move away from Newcastle United anyway. So, because it's a bit depressing, isn't it, at the minute, Newcastle United?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the reason why we're on this video, and that was the top 3 goals that have been scored for either England. It could be any team whatsoever, but I'm guessing nobody's going to pick a goal from, I don't know, West Ham or Sunderland, are they, on the stream? So unless it was an own goal. So what I'll do is we're going to go around. We'll do our number 3s first. I'll just tell you mine quickly, and then we'll move around in a circle. So my number 3, which I'm guessing at least one of you has probably got this in there as well. 2001, Greece, free kick, David Beckham.
Oh, that was in mine as well.
Steven's got it. Steven's got it in there.
That'll be my number 2. Or joint number 2.
So it's in there as well. So yeah, at that time, like the feeling was that we were going we weren't going to qualify. It was all over. We needed at least a point to qualify, and then we get the free kick. Now, about 30 seconds before we got that free kick, this is back in my. I'm not going to say hippie, but I used to like ecstasy and a lot of other things. And I would smash out my box and decided I needed to go to the toilet. So my number 3 goal, I didn't even see it live. I didn't see it happen. I just heard it from the other room. I heard the other room just getting trashed. So I've run out the toilet, like, the fuck's going on? And there it is, seeing the replay. And just the feeling, knowing that, that we'd got that chance of going through. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's my number 3. So yeah, Dom, we'll move on to yours. So what was your number 3?
Well, number 3, I would say, if you want a good one, and possibly one that no one else has, was the Michael Owen goal against Argentina.
Oh, Argentina! I thought he was going to say Brazil. Then I thought he was going to say Brazil against Argentina. No, that's not in my list. That's not in there. But how did that make you feel when it went in?
Oh, we all thought we were going to win the World Cup. It became that type of atmosphere. We were all jumping up and down, pints were thrown everywhere. It was brilliant. But then at the end of that, we ended up going out. So, and Beckham sent off as well. Yeah,
that was horrendous. That was. Somebody said something the other day about because I put a video up somewhere. Somebody said, "Oh, if you ever want to see a cool, calm, collected player, just go and watch David Beckham." I said, "Are you mad? Remember he kicked the guy versus Argentina, and the next day there was dummies like in the street, weren't there?" Yeah. But yeah, I do. It was a great moment, though. That was a great moment. I've forgotten all about that one, to be honest. I've forgotten all about it. So yeah, Sean, we'll move on to you because we're going to go around in a circle. So what was your number 3?
My number 3 was a free kick by Laurent Robert against Liverpool in 2004. And it was a proper screamer against Jerzy Dudek.
Dudek, bloody hell.
Yeah. And the only reason I had to have Laurent Robert on the list at some point, and that was my favourite Laurent Robert goal, just because, like, I don't know what it is about him. It's wherever he got a free kick, it could be for an offside, and everyone would shout shoot, and he would, and that's what I used to love about him. The whole stadium would just shout shoot, and Laurent Robert like, let's go.
Oh, all right, fuck it, let's go.
And it was a proper screamer as well, right across the keeper, top bin.
So how did that make you feel though? Like it was obviously a decent goal, but how did it make you feel? Like what was your?
It was just the it's the feeling, because obviously like he's going to shoot, or like everyone's shouting for him to shoot, and you think you can't take it on from there, and he did, and it was just an absolute world, just absolute buzzing. Love it.
Get that feeling in the pit of your stomach, when the fans are all going mad, and just that feeling of solidarity. It's just it's hard to explain, but it's just
like unbelievable. You cannot believe it.
That's it. Well, yeah, it's a great goal though. So yeah, number 3. What was yours, Stephen? What was yours?
I'd say Tiote's equaliser against Arsenal in the 4-4 match.
Bloody hell.
That would have been my number 4.
That was an absolute heart attack of a game, that one.
I know. I watched it, like, I didn't watch it, like, but I followed it on Final Score on BBC. And once Arsenal went 4-0 up inside 26 minutes, where I thought it's going to be a cricket score. And then second half come when Arsenal went down to 10 men when Diaby got sent off. And we started playing our way back into it. And then where Joey Barton won the foul, he just dropped himself to the floor. And the ball in, and where he hit that volley straight in the bottom corner, that was
like
that
somebody
made me emotional. Like,
pressed the off button on him. He just became void of all life. Just dropped. I remember that as well.
yeah.
That's where a lot of football players are getting the same kind of ideas these days. I've seen some absolute ridiculous dives these days, man. Back in the day, it was just a one-off. If somebody dived, you talk about it for months, but it's 3-4 times a game. So yeah, that's number 3. So so number 2 is versus Barcelona, and it was you know it already. It was the Asprilla hat-trick, but it's going to be the third goal. I've got one of Stevens as well there, have I? See, when you said
I didn't think of that one. I didn't think of that.
Obviously, the first 2 were back, but the third one, because I think did we go 2-0 up, and then Barcelona they came back with 2 late goals, and then
went 3-0 up though. 3-0 up.
Was it 3-0? Was it? Oh, and
then Barcelona came back.
Yeah, 2 late goals, 2 goals at the end. Yeah, but that goal, because it was Asprilla as well. He was an absolute cult hero on Tyneside. Asprilla, I absolutely loved Asprilla. Always thought he was going to hurt himself when he scored, and he was doing those flips though. But he was quite a big lad, wasn't he? He wasn't the smallest of people. So when he jumped, I thought he's going to break his neck here. But against Barcelona as well, Champions League, absolute great. We all thought before that game went ahead, we're going to get absolutely twatted here. And went on to go and take it 3-0. But shout out to Asprilla. Wherever he is right now, whatever he's doing, I'd love to have him back. Even at his age, I'd take him back.
You can't do no worse than Joe Linton, that's for sure.
Mate, you can't do no worse than that. So that was my number 2. So so what was yours, Dom? What was your number 2? What's your number 2 goal?
Well, I was torn. Totally honest, I was torn between 2 for my number 2, and one of them is I'll give you them both. Was Paul Gascoigne against Scotland?
That was one of mine as well.
And that was an absolute screamer of a goal. Just a lifted up and over Colin Hendry and then wallop in the back of the net. That was brilliant. My other one is a Johan Cabaye free kick against Manchester United, and that was crisply hit, and it was on the money, and it was a beautiful thing to watch.
I see we've just got Spenny popped up there as well. So he's got Ginola for Newcastle in the UEFA Cup. Gazza's goal against Scotland as well, you've just mentioned there.
Really? Don't mention the last one. That was mine.
I'm going to put Higher Pet back on the screen temporarily. I should have saved that one. But the Scotland goal, Gazza, that was a great one because that was his comeback, wasn't it? That was he looked great when he come back as well. He looked super fit, and people were wondering whether he was going to do it. Did they not go out on the piss the night before that game as well? Was that match? The dentist chair.
They got put in the dentist chair, and obviously they got bollocked for it, and that's why he hid himself on the floor and they all started squirting.
Yeah, that was it. I forgot all about that.
Although it's all right, Spenny. I'll change my last one if you wish.
You got a few in there in the supply, have you? All right, so we've done that one. Your number 2. So Sean, what's your number 2 there?
I got just before I do, I'm getting paranoid because I've got an itchy nose and I keep touching nose, and I'm getting paranoid in case believing Bruce starts dissecting the video and that, and I'm like,
Mate, you know what? Whenever I watch videos and I see people doing that with the nose, I always think cocaine. That's always my first thought.
I'm getting paranoid, I can see him start doing it. I'm like, oh, shouldn't leave your face at all, for fuck's sake.
No, I don't think Believe in Bruce will watch this channel.
If he did,
Do you know what? I'd love to get him on. Like, if he ever does get to see this, or if anybody knows him, I'd love to get Believe in Bruce on.
If he does, I'm perfectly comfortable.
It'd be a great guest, just to dissect all of like Bruce's everything that he's gone through, like ever. So what was your number 2 then, Sean?
My number 2. I've only picked Newcastle goals, but if I was going for other goals as well, it would be the England Beckham free kick, just because of it was obviously the build up to it. Like you were saying before, he was a massive villain because of the sending off for ages, and everyone hated him. In that one game, he was everywhere. He seemed like to be the only player that actually cared, and he was everywhere on the pitch, chasing the ball down, getting tackles in, getting up. He was brilliant. And when he got the free kick, the commentator obviously said, I don't know if you remember what he said, he was like, Beckham could really raise the roof with a goal. And obviously he banged it in. It was just unbelievable. The passion was class. But, since I've only went for Newcastle goals, my second one is Emre's free kick against Sunderland to win the match 3-2.
Yeah.
The reason I picked that one is I was actually at the match. And I was only a little kid. And it was just... Obviously, it was 2-2, and we got the free kick. And I remember when we scored, a bloke I've never met before in front of us, massive bloke, I was on your Ben, snapped me leg, and he just hid us up in the air. And it was just like...
Jimmy Gardner, was it?
I don't think so. I wouldn't know. He just turned around, ripped us off me chin, and chucked us up.
What did they call him? Jimmy Five Bellies, wasn't it? Five Bellies Gardner.
No, it wasn't him. He's a big bloke.
You used to hang around with Danny Baker as well.
And Gaza, yeah. Yeah, I think they were, what did they call them? They called them something, 3 Musketeers or something. That's what they called them. They were just out on the piss constantly. That was...
3 pillars.
I've forgotten all of 3 pillars. I don't know how they ended up... I think they basically ruined Gaza, didn't they? Like, I think they ruined... He was like making a comeback. He got himself good. And Danny Baker got hold of him. That was a Sunderland game. You was actually at that game then.
I was at the game. Like, if you watch the clip, obviously where you can, there's a stand where you can see in the background. I'm just to the left, I'm like right down the front, and it was awesome.
Cheers, Benny. So, all right, and so Stephen, what's your number 2 goal? What was your second?
Want to say?
I think we mentioned it already, didn't we? I think you.
Yeah. Now we've got another one though. Isaac Hayden's 94th minute winner against Chelsea last season. So the reason I picked that because I was at the game. I'd won tickets there. So I took me 2 mates up. And we had like a meal, free drinks. Met John Beresford and got a selfie with him. And got good seats for the match as well. And to witness that in the 94th minute, it was absolutely awesome, jumping everywhere.
I saw that you mentioned this goal actually the other day on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any better feeling than thinking it's all over and then realising that it's not, and there's that last minute winner. Great feeling. Yeah. I think that was last season. That was one of the last games, wasn't it? It would have been like a few games before everything kicked off. Was it just before Christmas?
It was after January, like...
Was it just after Christmas, was it? Yeah, it was winter time now.
January 18th or something, yesterday or something. I think it was a year yesterday since it was played.
Well, so it literally was one of the last few games played at...
before everything all kicked off.
Can't wait to get these fans back in. It's just absolutely ridiculous without them there.
Bruce is going to get panned, isn't he?
He's probably... Have you seen the South Park Pandemic? Have you seen that?
No,
the pandemic version. Oh, you've not seen it. It's basically, in that, it started by some guy that goes off and he goes to China and he shags a bat. For me, honestly, that's South Park. That's coming from South Park's imagination, not my own imagination. But I feel right now like Bruce is the man that's shagging bats to stop fans just from getting back in the state. He'll do anything he can to stop them fans getting back in.
Dom's joking there.
Well, I've just killed Dom. Sorry, mate. That's a new level for the podcast. That is, yeah. Steve Bruce is out shagging bats. Maybe I'll move on to me. I'll move on to my number one. And if Dom doesn't have this in his list, I'll be very surprised. Just because we're similar age, I think Stephen's a little bit younger. But this one for me, this was the first World Cup that I remember as a child. I remember '86. I remember it being on the TV. I remember my dad watching it. I was little. I was like 4 or 5 years old. 1990, Italian 90, was the World Cup that introduced me to football properly. Belgium game, it's 2-2. It's looking like we're going to penalties. Up pops, who took the free kick? Can you remember? Was it Lineker took the free kick? I can't remember who took the free kick. I think it was a Lineker took it. And then Platt with the fucking volley you have ever seen in your life. And I've never seen a volley like it since. Never. And it's straight in the back of the net. And the feeling from that, it was just amazing. My dad, he was running around, basically, like, there's a tradition in my family, like, when goals go in, living rooms get smashed. Like, there's just no regard for objects. Fuck it, us going against the wall. But yeah, the place got trashed. And my dad had says to me when it was 2-2, and he was feeling like we weren't going to win a penalty shootout. He said, "Oh, if we win this, I'm going to buy the England strip tomorrow." And then fucking Platt scored. So we went out the next day. It was my first ever England strip. I was just so proud of it. And apart from anything else, it was a great goal as well. And it took us through to the next round of the World Cup. Great tournament. So yeah, that's my number one. So yeah, what's your number one? What would you put first?
Well, I've got two left. Now I will do it from the bottom one, which was because of course Spenny threw up the Shearer goal against Everton, which I had as my number one, but I'll change it. I'll go for either. I'll probably go for that one instead, but I will also give you the Shearer volley against Aston Villa. What a goal that was.
What a finish.
Yeah, what a finish that was. And a tight angle as well. But my number one, I will have to say, just because of who it was against and how sweetly it was struck and how much he made the goalkeeper look like an absolute mug. I give you Philippe Albert, looking for
I wouldn't have picked this one either.
A lot of good games over the years. Miss a lot out.
That was a classic side as well. That was a classic team that we had. It was all in there.
As soon as you said his name, I knew exactly what goal you were going to say. Unbelievable.
He made Peter Schmeichel look like a Sunday League goalkeeper.
And that's not easy to do with Schmeichel either. Oh, mate. Do you know what? I've been leaning on my arm for too long. And I'm in. So if I look like I'm having a bit of a fit at the minute, I'm not. I've got like a weird cramp in my arm.
Ted, just tell us you don't have any bats, mate.
I did have bats. I've still got a bit of one in the fridge. I don't eat bats. But yeah, Philippe Albert, he was part of that classic side. That was like that era back then. It was a Sunday afternoon, wasn't it, that game?
Yes.
Sunday afternoon. I think my dad was at the pub.
Yeah, I remember watching it in the pub somewhere, that one.
No, I'd seen it by myself, that one, and oh mate, it was just. I remember seeing my mate the next day, and just absolutely ripping him to shreds. Where he'd been ripping me for weeks. Oh, can't wait to play, and just he didn't get that opportunity. And did we play him in the charity shield as well that season?
Yeah,
we lost 4-0. Yeah, we lost 4-0, and then we went on and did them 5-0. Back at the return. Oh mate, that was I don't know why I didn't choose any goals from that game. I'd forgotten that game even existed. If I was to pick a top 3 games ever, I think that game that'd definitely be up there. Along with
I would also have to shout Robert Lee as well against Spurs. The 7-1.
7-1 against Spurs. Yeah. Happy days there was. I think just going back to like the Man United Newcastle. I don't know if was it about 2-3 weeks later. Did they not get beat like 4-5 or 6-0 by Sheffield Wednesday as well? Man United.
Yeah, it was 6. Southampton, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was it Southampton? Was it,
yeah, 6-1. And they complained about their away shirt, didn't they?
Their away shirt. Oh, the shirt. What did they call that shirt? The
flipping. It was great, wasn't it? It was horrible.
Yeah, it was. I think they only wore it once. Did they only wear it that once, and then that was it? Yeah. Never. Because all the fans were pissed off because they'd all gone out. They'd all spent flipping 50 quid on this jersey. And Man United, yeah, we're ditching that. We're not wearing that again. So everyone, I've just put your fucking name on the back of it, you bastard. Sorry, Mrs. Nine, if you. I apologise. I'm apologising for previous swears as well there. So yeah, that was terrible, man. So yeah, Sean. So what's your number one?
I nearly went for Cissé's second goal against Chelsea.
Yeah. Purely
because it was just how much of a surprise it was. I was actually watching it on a legal stream, a legal one, a fine one. That one that's okay.
Legal or illegal?
Legal, in terms of the stream.
Oh yeah, I'm with you now.
And it crashed as he kicked the ball, and I had a bet on 2-0 Cissé first goal, and I was calling it worse than shit. Sorry, Mrs. Nine.
Coming to running joke.
Back on, he was celebrating, and honestly, it was just I was going to pick that one because I won quite a bit of money off it. But the goal I went with was a game against West Ham where we won 2-0 last game of the season, and Gutierrez got an assist.
What, man?
It just because like what it meant to us and the fans, because it kept us up, and the fact what it meant to him is like, because I love Gutierrez, and I think what the club did was a bit shit. Sorry again. I was really happy for him with that goal. Like,
yeah, it was horrible what he done. It was horrible. Remember, he used to pull the mask out, the sock, the Spider-Man mask. It took him. Do you remember? He had that thing in his sock for a while, didn't he? Before he got his first goal.
I bet it stunk by the time he got on his face.
Probably, yeah. He's like, "Fuck that! I've got to take that off." But yeah, it was just. I don't know. We need players like that again. Yeah, it's so sad the way that he was treated.
It was just the passion when he scored was amazing. Even though like the way he'd been treated, it was just for him to come and do that and keep Newcastle up in the Premier League was unbelievable.
And he still loves Newcastle now, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't.
He actually speaks to the fans and that on Twitter. He mixes with the fans and that. He's class bloke, man. Yeah, he's a class guy, man. So yeah, Gutierrez, like, absolute legend. So, what's yours, Stephen? What's your number one?
Sorry, mate.
Well, this is well I thought another one, isn't it, Sean?
Oh, mate, have you done him with the goal there as well?
I have.
I've got another one though. Hatem Ben Arfa, running half the length of the pitch, just got a brilliant goal against Bolton.
Ben Arfa.
Brilliant.
Got the ball, he spun the defender first, and then one tried to take him down, had a little nibble at him. Two defenders just stood back and just slotted it in the corner. Hell of a goal, that. Brilliant goal. Just his ability. I loved Ben Arfa when he was at Newcastle. He was he's like what Maxi is now. He's like a French flair player, and we are always, them sort of players always seem to do well at Newcastle, and he was one of my favourite. I had his shirt with his name on it when he first signed because I was that excited when he'd signed.
French players at Newcastle have always smashed it. We've always done well with the French. Can't go wrong with them. Apart from Saint Maxi, like I love Saint Maxi. Don't get me wrong, but I do feel like he could have a little bit of a Mardy at some point. Mardy, a bit. I don't know. You probably don't know that word. Could have a bit of a tantrum.
A bit of a moan.
Oh, you know, yeah, a bit of a moan and just bugger off, like, and just do a runner. A bit of a Roy Keane, you know, a bit diva-ish maybe. So yeah, but a lot of that is down to with Steve Bruce. He's just pissed off. He got conned into staying, and he made that statement. Oh, what did he say? I've stayed for Steve Bruce. I mean, what kind of idiot is going to fucking stay for Steve Bruce?
What he didn't say was the gun off camera.
Yeah, it must have took something like that. Yeah, I've just spotted. It's okay, Ted. Yeah, apologies for all that swearing before. But yeah, it must have took something like that. It must have been promised, just stay, because Bruce won't be with us much longer. The takeover will happen, and then we'll get rid of Bruce, and everything will be all right. And someone says to Bruce, no, don't worry about that. Like, it's not real. Because he must have really thought that if the takeover happens, then he's going to end up... He
was out on his ear, man. He was absolutely out on his ear. As soon as that takeover was done, he was out. No doubt about it.
But I don't know, man. I think he thought that he'd get to stay. No, Bruce. I think right. Bruce... Yeah, I think Bruce thought he'd get to stay if the takeover happens.
No. Absolutely not.
I think that's probably one thing that convinced Maxi, though, because he'd probably be thinking,
oh, yeah, 100%.
I'm going to be playing with the best players in the world on an absolute wedge.
That's 100% the only reason why he stayed. 100%. Yeah, he could have gone. And the same as well with a few of the lads, to be honest. You know, they could have buggered off, but they don't want to. Nobody wants to leave right now because they want to be part of that team if we do end up the richest club in the world. So everyone wants to. They're just hoping for the best, but yeah, it might not work out that way. Sadly, might not work out that way.
The thing is,
I really hope it does.
Sorry, go on, mate.
I was just going to say, I really hope it does. Like, if you watch Keith on Steve Rafe's show, 4 hours I've sat watching Keith on, you know, from the consortium, fans consortium, watching him on the Steve Rafe show talking. And he makes me feel like this thing's going to go ahead. He makes me feel confident. Like, he's not said anything. Like, he's not giving anything away. But it's just the confidence that he's got. Like, he makes me feel like it's going to go ahead. As everybody knows, like me and Steve Rafe, we've never got on great. We're not enemies. We don't get on. It's not one of those ones. But I've never watched Steve Rafe show so much recently since Keith's been on there. I think he should be like a regular guest on there. I think he should be a regular because, yeah, he's a proper fan. He's a legend, man. I've just noticed since I've mentioned Keith, the numbers went up on the thing as well, on the live viewers. Like, somebody must have messaged. Someone's messaged. Oh, there's 4 there now. We're smashing it, man. We're smashing it. We got 4 in. Basically, I spent 3 weeks not on the channel, and I think I completely knackered it up. If there's anybody watching this now who's not subscribed, like, just hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Go into the description as well. Dom, I need to put yours into the description because I pointed in the wrong direction. I don't know what's going on here. I'm joining in. I'm just joining in. Hold on.
I'm waiting for Miss Lady to come and give Dom a slap on the back of the head.
There we go. Look, language, Mr. Moore. But yeah, all of the links are in the descriptions for everybody as well on here. So if you go down there, I'm going to put Dom's in after because Dom, he was a last minute addition to the stream because I only managed to get hold of you this afternoon. So I'm going to go and put that in. So everybody go and click subscribe on all of these channels as well. Go and find us on Twitter. You've probably got.
Well done. I'm getting over 500 subs, Dom.
Smashed it. And do you know what? Toon review as well. Paul, I've seen he's been smashing it recently as well. So he's been doing good. So yeah, I was trying to get him on earlier, but I think he's got a live stream tonight as well, actually, or something as well. He may actually. Don't know what time his live stream is, but if he's live streaming now, like everybody that's on here, go over there and watch it. But yeah, I'm going to call this one a day now. We've gone through all of our top 3s. My Brucey bonuses, by the way, just before I do go, my Brucey bonuses. One of them was the Gaza goal. And the other one, I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to mention it for the live stream now, was Stuart Pearce when he scored the penalty in Euro 96. So yeah, that was my Brucey bonus.
Not Brucey bonus.
So yeah, did anybody else have any Brucey bonuses? Or we won't say Brucey bonus?
I'll give you one there, Ted. It was John Beresford, and it was in the Champions League, and I think it was Dynamo Kiev. And I'm not sure, he might have scored twice, and there were two bloody bullets right into the corner. So if you want to look that one up, it is a brilliant goal.
And who was that against? Kiev?
I think it was Dynamo Kiev.
I'll have seen the goals, but I'm going to go and look those up and go and rewatch them. I'm going to go and all of these goals that we've got, I'm probably going to go and put them all on Twitter as well and just link them in with this video. I'm going to find clips of them and stick them on there.
I'll tell you which one's for you to, another one for you to high in. Well, I'll run this thing on Twitter, right, where like I was claiming that stats were like a load of bollocks. Sorry. Saying that you can twist stats to make anything sound good, and someone give us Rob Lee, and like obviously I was doing a bit of digging into Rob Lee, and I saw that he actually scored 4 goals across 2 legs in Europe, one of which being a hat-trick, and I think I think we won. It was like 10-2 or something on aggregate, and I can't remember who got the other hat-trick, but someone else got one as well. That was a cracking hat-trick.
Was it not Antwerp?
Yeah, it was. I can remember that, wasn't it? Was it a qualifier or something though, or something? It was early on, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, it was first or second round, I think.
Yeah, it was early on. It was. Yeah, I can remember that. It was. We won't see days like that again. I don't think. Not for a while yet. Anyway, not for a while. If this takeover goes ahead, then maybe. But if it don't, then we're going down, aren't we? We're going down to the Champions. Not Champions League. It's going down to the Champions League. We're going down to the Championship.
The closest we'll get Europe's Maxi going to Paris or something.
Mate, can you imagine if we get relegated? What's going to happen to our team?
Yes, man.
They're going to have to just clone Fraser and stick him like in every spot. That's how about it. Bring back Now Ranger. Bring back all the classics.
Oh, God. Want to be gangster.
Hold on. We've just had some breaking news. Kendall has just tweeted that Lampard is going to be gone before Bruce. I thought that was... I read that wrong there. I thought for some reason that was saying that... That's not breaking news. I take that back. It was just a tweet.
It's funny,
I completely read it wrong. Like, when I saw that then, I clicked it up. I read it, that Bruce was being sacked and Lampard was coming. Which... Wait, I would take Krusty the Clown. I'd take anybody right now over Steve Bruce. And this was something that was said on one of the shows last week, on one of Steve Ray's shows. Just let the team get on with it. Just take Bruce out of the equation. Get the lads to one side. Just let them sort it out between them. And I reckon they will do a better job. Whoever it was, I can't remember who it was that said it, but I reckon they were right. 100%. Just got to take him out of the equation.
It's funny you mentioned that tweet. Actually, I'm not confident that Bruce won't go before the end of the season. I was asking for odds off like Paddy Powan, Betfair, and William Hill, and none of them would give us it.
They won't.
None of them would give us a price because you will not go before the end of the season.
Not a chance, man. He's safe, isn't he? He's safe in his job. Thing is with his job is Mike's not going to want to sack him now. Bring somebody else in who could then. I mean, nobody's going to come along anyway, knowing that if the takeover goes ahead, they're going to get sacked.
No.
And then if the takeover doesn't go ahead, they're stuck with Mike Ashley.
Yeah.
So we're stuck with Bruce. There's just no way out of the situation other than the lads sorting out between them.
Can't Mike Ashley put him on furlough?
I'd take Pearson, Thomas.
Can we not like kidnap him or something? Like not in a. But right, we're gonna stick in a disclaimer here. Like. When I say can we not kidnap Steve Bruce, I don't mean like just bundle him. Well, I do mean bundle him in the back of a van and tie him up. But we'll feed him good. We'll look after him. We'll let him watch the football. We'll give him a selection move, PlayStation, Xbox. We'll treat him like a king. just till the end of the season. Just keep him out of the way and then send him back. You know, it's not actual kidnap, is it, if we treat him like?
I'm just saw Northumbria Police have just joined the chat there.
I've just realised that many mad Newcastle fans that like somebody right now is going to watch this and think, "Why heck, he's got that's an idea." That is like he's got a point. Never thought of that one. Never thought of that. But yeah, something needs to be done because he's going to take us down, isn't he? Like, do you think we'll get relegated? What's your opinion?
No.
Well, I reckon we should just sack Bruce and get him Pearson because he's been in that interim manager role quite a few times, and I think he wouldn't mind if he come in, did a job, and then given his cards once the takeover goes through. But even if the takeover doesn't go through, he's still quite a good manager, and you know he kicks players' backsides, you know, gets them into shape.
I think that's probably the best option, isn't it? It's the safest option because we can't bring somebody else in. That's the trouble. So we can only use what we've already got. But the thing is, you know, when you say Bruce Hart, sack him online, you get this whole brigade of people that jump up and say, "Oh, you want a man sacked during a pandemic?" It's like, hold on, mate. That exactly that. And sorry, Mrs. Nine, I'm agreeing with Dom with this. I'm not. If you comment to say stop swearing, I'm letting that one go. I'm afraid. Yeah, like, how much money has he got? You know, he'll get another job somewhere. All right, not Premier League. Yeah, there you go. Bring that one in. But yeah, not Premier League. He won't stay in the Premier League. Even Championship, he'll be lucky. No, but he'll get another job somewhere. He'll probably end up a pundit, you know, thinking about it. Because his mates are all the pundits. They all love him. So yeah, that's probably where he'll end up.
He'd get a job at somewhere like Barnsley or something like that, wouldn't he?
He'll be at Being. That's where he'll end up.
Imagine that. You may go back to Mackems.
Oh, mate. They're welcome to him. They're welcome to him.
Down League 2.
I do another live stream with a Mackem lad, actually. It's a comedy one, not a sport one. And I'm going to ask him when I come off this, would you take Steve Bruce? And would you take him back? And I don't think he would. I think he would probably vomit at the thought of it. You know, so yeah.
Do you know when you mentioned, like, obviously we joke on that Steve Bruce's luck is carried on, and I think it's happened again. I think the reason we won't go down this season is because he's that lucky that the teams below us are just worse, or they've just had a worse start. Sheffield United and West Brom. Like, I think there's only one place up for grabs, really, personally. But obviously you never know, like, because obviously the season's that tight. I reckon he'll end up like maybe like 14th, 15th.
Yeah, I think relegation will be. I don't think we will. I don't think we will go down. It'll be a struggle. There's only one place really that looks like that we could swap with, and I don't see it personally. I think we'll do enough. However, we don't want no squeaky bums, do we, for the next flipping couple of months?
No.
We don't want them because we don't want the PIF in the background having emergency meetings like I've lost another one, you know. It's like, fuck, like they're even closer to the bottom. Last thing we want is them emergency meetings. Wait, hold on. I am so confused now. How did that happen? Oh, wait. Mate, wait, no. Wait, sorry, I'm spinning out. Yeah, how did that happen? Dom's on the stream. How's he commenting on the... This reminds me of, did anybody see that time, Stephen, it was one of your first live streams, and somehow with two of you in the live stream.
Yeah.
There was two. The start of the live stream, I don't think you was even in it. Like somebody
couldn't get me up, that wasn't working.
It was just it was fucking brilliant. That was like, sorry. It was brilliant. Where's the host? It was just the guest sitting there. Like, what should we do?
I didn't know what to do. I thought they just come in automatic. That was my first ever one. I didn't know what you did to get them in the stream. I was saying at the stream in the bottom. I said, "Oh shit!"
But there was none of you. Then you came in, and then I thought, hold on. There's two of you on this, and there were two running at separate times as well. So one was like from 5 minutes before, and one was present. I was so spun out by it, man. But yeah, it was just the start when the guests were sat there like, what should we do? Like, where is it? What should we do? It's like, should we just start? Like, but yeah, it's teething problems. I think my first stream was an absolute nightmare. I was like 10 minutes behind Dom and Sean on the stream. So I was like answering things and asking things that they had no idea because it was 10 minutes before.
But I'm getting better now at it though. 161 subscribers I've got now.
Smashing it now. Thing is, like, it's when you first start things out, nothing ever goes right, does it, to begin with?
No, not as you plan them.
But yeah, it's going great now. So yeah, anybody that's watching this now, like, go and subscribe to that channel. It's down in the description. I'm going to cut it off now. It's been an hour. If I don't get some life into this hand in a minute, then that's my evening ruined. So that was a joke, by the way. That was a joke. It is dead though, that arm. But yeah, everybody go and hit the comments. Oh, Chelsea have had a goal ruled offside. Don't know how long ago that was. I've ignored the comments there a little bit. But yeah, go hit all of the links. I'm going to put yours in there as soon as I come off this, Dom. So if you're looking for Dom's on there now, it's not on there, but I will find it. Andy Cole. I'll tell you a funny story about Andy Cole quickly.
Dom's tripped me out now, like commenting on the live stream. It's like
That's what spun me out a minute ago. That's what reminded me of with Stephen being two of him on the thing. But yeah, Andy Cole, when he was at Newcastle, he was smashing it. My mum and dad brought a cat. I was just a kid at the time. They brought this cat. And it's this black and white cat. Looked like it was wearing a Newcastle kit. Yeah, we've lost one. We've lost Stephen. Yeah, it looked like it was wearing a Newcastle kit. So my dad called it Cole. He called it Coley, this flipping cat. And then he buggered off, didn't he? Andy Cole buggered off. He left us. So we ended up stuck with this cat named after Andy Cole that played for Man United, and we just couldn't change its name at all. Am I in the screen there? I don't know if I am. So yeah, that was it anyway. So yeah, I'm drifting back onto it. So yeah, I'm going to call that a night there. So thank you very much for coming on, lads. And yeah, we'll do this again at some point. I'm going to think of some more top threes, and we'll discuss some more of these top three games or something maybe. Because yeah, it's a bit different from just discussing like the shite that's going on at the club. Hey, up, Stephen's back there. Look now.
Dom's getting told.
Sorry, I knocked it off by mistake. I clicked it off by mistake.
Having dramas. So, yeah, I was just saying anyway. Now I'm going to call it a night now with the stream. It's been an hour, so we've got all these comments. We're all rubbish. Fucking, he's going in with the comments. Is Dom here? 43 goals in the season. He's going in. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on, everybody. And yeah, go to the descriptions.
In a bit.
All right, catch you all later, everybody.
See you later. See ya.